Broncos country NFL draft nerds. What is going on, man? It's your boy Mark here on Marcky Sports. This is a special episode for me. I got my final running back, tight end, and wide receiver rankings going into the NFL draft, which starts here in less than 48 hours, man. And I'm super appreciative of all of you guys that show the channel support. I was able to hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers before the draft. Super grateful, man. And a really special shout out to some special people. David from David Talks Broncos, Kodiak Broncos podcast. See you, Andy. Awesome content. Check it out in his Substack. All of these are going to be linked below. Mike Carmelini. Love his show. Love his content. Really grateful to be featured on the show. Strez. Check him out on TikTok. He's phenomenal. Cameron Parker, Jeremy, all the guys in the Discord. If I'm forgetting you, man, I'm sorry. Thank you guys all for your support. It's been a wonderful journey. It's been really great to know you guys. And I look forward to doing a lot of great stuff together, man. So thank you guys. And like I said, be sure to check them out and their channels if you are not already subscribed. So let's get into it, guys. The Broncos are getting ready for the NFL draft. Now, what I'm going to do differently with these rankings is this is what I think is just overall rankings. It's not necessarily specific to what the Denver Broncos or any team are looking for in terms of a need. It's just based off of what I feel like are the most universal players and the best at their positions, regardless of fit and team. Obviously, there's always going to be nuances based off of team fit. So I'll try my best to get some honorable mentions. But, guys, without further ado, let's start with the running backs. My 2025 NFL final rankings for the draft and the running backs. One is obviously Ashton Jeanty. Now, this isn't a surprise, and there's not really much I need to add here besides the obvious. But Ashton Jeanty is the greatest college running back prospect that I've ever watched. The more I look into him, the more impressed I get. He is phenomenal. He does everything. Dude is a generational talent. Really is in a league of his own. I hope that he has a healthy, good luck with health and injuries and stuff in the NFL, because I am very much looking forward to seeing his NFL career, regardless of which team, except maybe the Raiders. But I'm still looking forward to it. He's a phenomenal player. Number two for me is TreVeyon Henderson. I could not get away from him being the number two back. I think he ticks all the boxes. Do I think he could be a 3-down back? Absolutely. He's the best pass protector in this draft. He is a weapon that can be utilized out of the backfield in the pass game. He's very, very good. He's just dynamic. He's shifty. And so many times on film, you see negative runs get turned into 3-4 yard gains consistently. That's just what he does. He's electric, man. I love everything about his game. And then, you tack in the fact that he's got all these, really positive things from people, right? I mean, you hear about the leadership, the team captain, all that really good stuff. And that's just the cherry on top. But TreVeyon Henderson is phenomenal. I think without a doubt, he's number two, the number two running back in this draft. I mean, to me, there's really, I feel like Jeanty's in a tier of his own, and then tier number two is going to be TreVeyon Henderson. Just because, like I said, name something you're like, oh, I wish, he needs to be better at this. He does everything well with many things very, very elite. Like I said, pass protecting, catching the ball out of the backfield, and just straight up being a dude that every time he touches the ball, he can house it. He gets a little bit of daylight, he's gone. I love watching some TreVeyon Henderson. Number three is Quinshon Judkins, man. I was going back and forth between Omarion Hampton and Quinshon Judkins here. And I came up with Quinshon Judkins because I just feel like he's a little bit more sudden on film than Omarion Hampton. Right now, they both tested really well and very similarly at the combine. I actually was surprised that Omarion Hampton tested as well as Quinshon Judkins, because Quinshon looks a little bit more sudden, but Omarion's got more power. But it's not that much more significant. I think Quinshon Judkins is just extremely slept on. I think the fact that he split some time might have hurt him a little bit because the exposure wasn't there. But go look at the Ole Miss tape. The guy is, in my opinion, a little bit more dynamic laterally, and he's got a mean, stiff arm. He's very, very tough to tackle. I just love how angry he runs. And I see a little bit more upside as a receiver out of the backfield with him than I do with Omarion Hampton, even though I do think that they're both fantastic. Which leads me to number 4, Omarion Hampton. We kind of talked about him a little bit. A lot of people have him as like the bona fide, without a doubt, number 2 running back. he was there at one point, and then I moved him down to 3, and now he's there at 4. And really, guys, like ranking between, 2 and 4 in these rankings, it's not like there's that big of a gap. It really is what's your flavor. I just feel like there's something about Omarion Hampton that is missing, and I don't really know what it is. And I think a lot of it is it's kind of a positive because he makes a lot of things look very easy. But his contact balance is phenomenal. He's got a really uncanny ability to get like skinny in a lot of holes for a big running back and be able to really surprise a lot of guys in that sense. Obviously, extremely difficult to take down. Runs through guys, looks for contact. I mean, him and Quinshon Judkins really are very similar. I just think, like I said, Quinshon I think is a little bit more sudden when it comes to the type of athlete. I'm a little bit more of a quick twitch athlete, whereas Omarion's a little bit more of a kind of more of, I guess, a patient style of runner. So really, they could be like 3A and 3B, both phenomenal players. But I think all 4 of these guys are like, I know I broke it down in tiers of like Genty is one tier, Trevion is another tier. But really, when you look at 1 through 4, they're all kind of a league in his own. And then I think that there's a fairly big gap between the rest of the guys. But it's a hell of a class. It's a hell of a class, man. Number 5, and he's been moving up my ranks consistently, and he continues to do so, and that is DJ Giddens, the running back from Kansas State. I just feel like this dude is so damn good, man. He is so good. 6 foot, 212 pounds. He doesn't look like he's that big, which is, I think, a really good thing, because that kind of tells me that he's just a hell of an athlete, right? I mean, he carries the weight really well. So he's got some suddenness, but man, his juking ability, like he's a pretty decently sized back. Like he's not a very big back, but he's a bigger back that moves a lot like these smaller guys. Super dynamic, really, really quick, got great speed. I think he's very overall well-rounded. I think just the only parts of his game that are a little bit lacking, I think, is the pass protection seems like it's going to be a problem, something that will need some refining. Doesn't mean that he can't get good there, but I think he's going to be strictly more of a first and second down back going into the NFL. But man, he's fun. He's really, really fun to watch play. I'm a big fan of DJ Giddens for a lot of reasons. And like I said, I just think another thing about him too, and why he's getting kind of overlooked a little bit, because it's a big class. Kansas State's not like this sexy college that people like to look at, but there's really no reason to not like him. The production's there, the athleticism is there, the size is there, the experience, the injury history is clean. He's just really good, man. He's very elusive running back. His yards after contact is fantastic. But what I liked about his game is I feel like his game translates really well into the NFL, because he seems comfortable and good with taking those 3 or 4 yard runs, those grind you out runs. He doesn't always want to look to just take a house call like a lot of running backs in college do, which is totally understandable. I just think he's very good, and he's very scheme versatile as well, man. Really, really big fan of DJ Giddens. I've liked him more and more. The more and more I watched him, the more and more I've liked DJ Giddens flat out. So I think he's fantastic. Number 6, and I'm probably the only guy on YouTube that has Kyle Monangai this high in the rankings. So is it just a bias? I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But let me tell you guys, man, this dude does everything so gosh dang good. The only thing is he's a very average to below average athlete overall. But my God, his ability to run through people, like he runs with this unbelievable anger. He's super tough to bring down. I love his measurables. Somebody that's, 5'8", 5'9", 215 pounds, absolutely chiseled, built low to the ground, very big in his lower body. He's surprisingly elusive. You see a lot of those runs where he's surprisingly elusive. But I just love the type of the runner that he is. I think his game translates really well into the NFL. He's another one of those guys that he's good getting the 3 or 4 yard runs. And he's really going to wear teams down. He's not going to break off the long ones, but he's going to wear you down. If it's 3rd and short, if it's 3rd or 4th and goal, he is going to score. He is going to get the first down. And he might be right there with Travion Henderson when it comes to his ability to pass protect, which we know is huge and is one of the reasons why I think he's going to be drafted a little bit higher than I think people think. amazing pass protector. He pass protects is like he runs. He wants to kill people. I love that when I see that out of any running back. Can he catch the ball to the backfield? He's done it very seldom, but I don't think that there's any reason why he wouldn't be able to be a decent receiver. Him and Cam Scatterbo, who's my number 7 now, he's really rised up my rankings. And that's thanks to guys like Jeremy and other guys in the Discord talking about, how are you guys this low on him? I can see it now. I can understand the hype around Cam Scatterbo. My biggest thing is the athleticism was not going to translate, which is not always the biggest issue because, same thing with Kyle Monangai. My biggest problem with Cam Scatterbo is the fact that he has such a reckless running style. Like, it's almost like he needs contact and he needs to get hit in order to breathe. I don't know how that's going to translate into the NFL because, first of all, breaking tackles just recklessly like that's not going to be as easy in the NFL. Secondly, is what's the durability going to look like with that? The fumbling is a little bit of a concern, but not really. I mean, he had, I think, 5 fumbles last year, but a lot of different carries. When you look at it from a percentage standpoint, not the biggest deal. He's actually a decent pass catcher. Why is Cam Scatterbo a below Kyle Monangai? Because really, in so many different areas, they're very similar. They're both unbelievably angry runners. They look to want to kill people. I think Kyle Monangai is a little bit more diligent in terms of when he decides to, run through people and when he decides to just take the yards and go to the other down. Second thing is Kyle Monangai, I think he's just a significantly better pass protector. He's phenomenal. He could be a third down back right off of the bat. Cam Scatterbo struggles a little bit there. Cam does give him more upside in the pass game, but otherwise I ultimately put Kyle Monangai just one above him. But really, I love both guys. We joked about it in the Discord of like, what if the Broncos took Cam Scatterbo in the 3rd, Kyle Monangai in the 6th? We would have the toughest, hardest to bring down running back room. It would be wildly fun to watch. But love both those dudes. Number 8 is Caleb Johnson, man. Cam Scatterbo, Kyle Monangai, DJ Giddens, guys that consistently rose up my ranks throughout this process. Caleb Johnson is somebody that just consistently has gone down. And for me, it's just because I don't really find him to be overly special in anything. I think he's a solid back. He's got, his vision is okay. He's fat. I mean, he's very powerful, right? And he's got some lateral agility, but nothing overly special that all these other guys don't got. I mean, he's a very big back, so he should be powerful. So, I mean, you've got that. A lot of wide zone running in Iowa made the scouting really difficult. Is he going to only be kind of a wide zone type of running back? If that's the case, that's totally fine. Fit's going to be a big thing. Like, I think Caleb Johnson with the Rams, or Caleb Johnson with the Commanders, or Caleb Johnson with the San Francisco 49ers is a 1,500-yard rusher. In other systems, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't think he's dynamic enough to necessarily be like elite in the NFL, in my opinion. Not really going to give you much in the pass game. A big guy, but he doesn't really like to pass protect. I mean, sometimes you see, okay, the guy's not really good at it, but you can see the want to. He doesn't necessarily show that. Just kind of disappointed. And Iowa had those games where their O-line was really dominant, so the holes were big. So it made it very difficult to evaluate overall. But just not crazy high on Caleb Johnson. But I think he's just one of those guys that he's going to be solid. I just feel like he's going to be overdrafted, in my opinion, compared to these other guys. And I'll take some of these dudes that are a little bit more dynamic over him, personally. I would bet on that versus trying to get somebody that's just very, like fine across the board, I guess. Number 9 is RJ Harvey. Another guy that's kind of rose up the list. There's been some guys that we've taken off and replaced, so we'll get to that. But man, is RJ Harvey fun to watch. Once you get past the fact that he fumbles a lot and you get over the fumbles, this dude just brings that juice, man. He really, really does. He brings the juice. He's so fun to watch, but he's also surprisingly very, very powerful for a guy that's a little bit smaller. He's kind of got a well-built frame to him, I guess. But man, he's fast. He's elusive. He's dynamic. He really is fun to watch. I get it. He's a little bit of an older prospect. That's been a problem, but he's played 3 years in college. He's been very durable. Hasn't had many injury concerns for somebody at 5'9", 208 pounds. Unbelievable production over the course of the last 2 seasons. I mean, literally unbelievable production. Pull the numbers up here real quick. Yeah, I mean, 22 touchdowns this past season, over 1,500 yards. 16 touchdowns last year, over 1,400 yards. Ridiculously good. 25 games over the course of the last 2 seasons, averaging over 6.3 yards, per attempt, averaging over 6.5 for his entire college career. And he's got really surprising power. I was actually shocked to see the type of power that he runs with. Very, very good player. Like I said, a little bit older prospect. Yes. Does he fumble the ball a little bit? Yes. That's also an issue, but not anything that can't be corrected. And I think he can give you something in the pass game, even though he didn't do too much of it in college. He's really fun, man. Like I said, I knocked him down. I only put him at 9 because of the age is a concern. The fumbling is an issue. And then really outside of being like a dynamic speed guy that can break off long runs, what kind of a running back is he going to be? We're going to have to see, but he brings some juice. He'll fit really, really well as a change of pace committee type of back for a team, like extremely well. And so, yeah, there's a lot of fits for somebody like RJ Harvey. And then, man, thank you. Thanks to the Discord for this. I got to give the guys in the Discord a lot of credit because, man, Jordan James is legit out of Oregon. You watch him and you find a running back that is, again, extremely well-rounded. Solid size, 5'10", 210, nothing overly big. Very, very productive over the course of the last 2 seasons. He really became more of a full-time runner this year, and he was awesome. He was solid, but he kind of does everything super well also. He got good contact balance. He's somebody that misses quite a bit. He has a pretty good missed forced tackle rate overall. His athleticism is going to be the big question mark, right? Because he is 5'10", 210, which is not small, but it's definitely not a very big back. Like, it's a very average size back. He doesn't really have, he's not the most gifted athlete. His athleticism could be an issue in the NFL, but I think overall he's just really good, man. He's really good, and I wanted to sneak him into the top 10 because I feel like there was some things like the really good plays, the plays that really pop, really, really pop, and it shows something special. So you can see that something is there. Obviously, I think that there's a lot of areas that he can get a little bit better on. His vision seems to be one of those where maybe he could just be a little bit more patient, or maybe he's not seeing the whole. But Jordan James overall, man, I think he's worthy of being a top 10 pick. So love it. Obviously, some guys that left the list. LaQuint Allen, someone that started this process off in my top 5, has gone down outside of it. Like I said, this is not specifically for the Broncos. This is in general. It really very much seems like LaQuint Allen is going to be a running back that is used primarily as a pass catcher that has the ability to run the ball a little bit. Think Darren Sproles type of guy, right? That is literally catching more than he's really running the ball. I think he can do that extremely well. I love the player. I still would be thrilled if the Broncos took him, but he's not really a very well-rounded running back. He's just going to be a decent runner of the football that's going to be dynamic in the pass game. Absolutely dynamic. Bashal Tutin is somebody that I really love here too, man. This running back class is so fun. So I just wanted to make sure that I mention those guys as well. All right, let's get into the tight ends. Tough room to evaluate. Really past the top 5 guys, to be honest with you. The top 5 for me were pretty easy, but this is a list that's changed quite a bit since we had first started it. So the top 2 have not. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, no doubt about it. Those are the top 2 guys in this draft. 1A, 1B, phenomenal, extremely complete tight ends, dynamic in the pass game. As receivers, they can play, both the Y and the F. They're great. They can, like I said, in line. They got really good blocking abilities, and they obviously have a crazy good ability to separate. Number 3 is Mason Taylor, and I think he's firmly in that number 3 spot for me. Still a really young player, but he's been very productive playing in the SEC. He's gotten better every single year. I love the family bloodlines, but man, he just does everything super well. I think that there's a lot more juice, like untapped potential in the pass game for him. Super good blocker. He's just going to be solid. I think even though he's going to be 20 years old, on the day of the draft, he's ready to go. He's ready to go and contribute to a team right away. Very good blocker with some crazy ability. I love the upside that he's got, and he catches everything, man. He's got really, really good hands. His contested catches are phenomenal. And like I said, he's a good blocker. And for being such a young player, that's scary because in 3 or 4 years, as he develops, as he gets stronger, he might be elite. Very, very, very much get George Kittle vibes with someone like Mason Taylor. Very, very much so. And he just loves to play, man. Number 4 is Terrence Ferguson. And man, has this dude really popped up on the radar. Popped when I was looking at a lot of Jordan James, right? You watch Jordan James film, you see Terrence Ferguson make some plays. You watch Terrence Ferguson, you see Jordan James make the play. So that's where a lot of these guys kind of came up from. But I like Terrence Ferguson a lot, man. I really do. I think Terrence Ferguson is somebody that is got, a really, it's weird because he doesn't look like he's a very big tight end, but he's massive. He's massive. Like when you see him next to other players on the field, you're like, holy moly, this dude is huge. But the way that he moves and how fluid he is, he doesn't look. Sometimes I thought it was like a slot receiver, or it wasn't him on the film. So he's really good, very smooth mover, very good hands overall. Catches the ball. His contested catches. I mean, he had a pretty low contested catch rate, if I remember, on PFF, but Oregon's offense is not really a contested catch offense. It's to get the guys in space. Once you get the guy in space, he's dynamic. He's got ability to break tackles, make guys miss, and really, really stretch the field. I just like what I saw. I thought he was a really well-rounded overall tight end. He's a good blocker too, surprisingly, for someone that plays in the Oregon offense. He was really showing that he was willing. I think that there's a lot of great traits there, very long arms and all that good stuff as well. So, really like them. And like I said, another guy that's been very durable throughout his career, pretty productive. His numbers are not going to blow you away by any means, but he's solid. And I think the trajectory, the arrow is definitely pointing up with someone like a Terrence Ferguson. And it was tough. It was tough to put him above Harold Fannin because they're kind of different. Like I look at Terrence Ferguson as he's a guy that didn't produce that much in college because of the type of system that they run in Oregon. I mean, his numbers aren't really that impressive, and he still broke the tight end record for all Oregon Ducks. So that in and of itself should show you kind of what the offense is. And I feel like his game translates to the NFL really, really good. Harold Fannin was the most productive tight end of anybody in all of college football at Bowling Green. And I just feel like with him, he's really, really good, man. Like he's a fun player to watch, but he's going to have to be, I think he's a very scheme dependent type of a tight end. I don't think he's just like any team gets him and he's going to be able to shine, but love the player. Don't mind the fact that he's a little bit shorter. I like the versatility of how you can use him at fullback as a lead blocker as well. Really gives you those H-back, H-back type of vibes where you can be a hybrid of the tight end and of the fullback in certain packages. He's got a really good ability to block as well. How his athleticism and his gameplay speed, because he didn't test all that special, but his gameplay speed looked really good. How that translates into the NFL is going to be key, because if he plays, if the film, translates good to the NFL with the NFL speed and all that kind of stuff, the transition there, you get the ball into his hands, the yak ability is crazy. It is crazy with somebody like Harold Fannin. So really love the player, unbelievably productive, super durable, man, throughout his time there. And I think he's a stud. Elijah Arroyo is going to be number 6. The upside with him, he's the tight end here that's got the lowest floor and the highest ceiling. The range of outcomes for him is ridiculous. 1 year of production is obviously was one of the big concerns for me, dropping him a little bit. Crazy athleticism, but how is he going to translate to the NFL a pro type of system, right? Where they need him to, you know, run different types of routes and block on certain plays and be a decoy and run across the middle and take hits and all that kind of stuff. I just think he's a little bit too raw for my liking, but I have him above Mitchell Evans, the next guy, because the ceiling is crazy. The athleticism, the explosion is wild. So you definitely see that with Elijah Roy. He's got that seam stretching type of ability. Mitchell Evans is number 7, someone that I think really kind of got forgotten about a little bit because of the injury that he had suffered the prior year. He started off this year, or in 2023. He started off 2024, this past season, a little bit slow, started to get it going after it seems like he was getting healthy from the injury. But very highly touted player, phenomenal blocker with really good passing upside. If the medical's clear with him, he's going to be drafted higher than a lot of these guys on this list, in my opinion, if the medicals clear out. Teams are also going to like the fact that he's going to be 2 years removed from that. But overall, man, I mean, Mitchell Evans just a year ago was really known to be one of the best tight end prospects in all of college football. He was just really solid with Notre Dame. And you can see towards the end of the season, he started to get healthy. That's when Notre Dame was able to really make their run all the way to the national championship game. But let me tell you something about Mitchell Evans. Aside from the fact that he's a very good blocker, which I love from a tight end coming out of college, he's got really he's got phenomenal hands. His contested catches, man, like if he's going up, he's getting the ball. He uses his body to shield dudes. A very, very good red zone weapon, in my opinion, going into the NFL. That's the part of the game that I really thought translated super well. But yeah, the injury concern, because he had the injury in 2023, but he also had one prior in 2022 that cut a season short. So I think that's going to be a concern because that's 2 seasons. Good news is he did play in all 16 games for Notre Dame last year. Finished with 59 catches, 3 touchdowns, 418 yards. But like I said, his contested catch ability is ridiculous, and he's got surprising athleticism for somebody his size. Number 9, this guy is completely opposite end of the spectrum. Number 8 is Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm, somebody that I just started to cool off on a little bit. He's someone that is a little bit tougher of a grade for me because I don't know what he was really asked to do a lot in Texas. You assume that because they're a really good team and they threw the ball, a decent amount, that he should have gotten more. He was asked to do a lot more blocking than I think people realize, and he's fairly decent at that. The thing about Gunnar Helm overall that I guess worried me or made me hesitant to put him any higher than this is he never really popped. Like, he doesn't do anything in particular very, very elite. He just does a lot of things pretty good. And that kind of tells me what is your ceiling in the NFL, right? Like, how much better can you get, or is there more to work from there? Very good size tight end. I mean, he's big dude at 6'5", 241. I'm not really worried about the testing numbers because he, messed up his ankle before he ran. But even before that, like the vertical jump wasn't all that good. He's not the most incredible athlete. He's just an average athlete. He doesn't have the best hands. He's got good hands. Like, he doesn't have the best route runner. He's just good. Like, that's just what he is. He's just like, he's good, but there's nothing crazy special about him, in my opinion. But I will say one thing that does pop out a little bit is that he seems like he's a very smart football player. Like, he's a very quarterback friendly type of tight end. He finds the soft spots in the zones. He runs back, makes himself open. Makes those catches kind of across the middle to be able to show the tight end that, he's there, being able to read, are they in zone or are they in man? If they're in man, flip around and be able to turn around in the zone there. So he shows that he's very smart in that sense. But like I said, it just seems like either he's not overly athletic or he's a little bit lazy when it comes to him as a consistent pass rusher. So I think he's going to struggle a little bit in the NFL to separate, in my opinion. And the new guy to the list, someone that I was introduced to on watching, I think it might have been Field Yates or one of these guys' videos, to be honest with you, is Joshua Simon the tight end from South Carolina. You're looking at this guy. You're looking at where he played. He played in the SEC. You're looking at his production. It's decent. You turn on the film. He's popping. You look at the combine numbers. They're all pretty solid. You're thinking, why the hell isn't this guy ranked higher on a lot of people's list? And I couldn't really figure out the answer. Joshua Simon out of South Carolina, man, is a really good player. Someone that has shown flashes of being able to do it all. First of all, 6'4", 240 pounds. He's a little bit light, but almost 34-inch arms. Very long arms, over 10-inch hands, very long built type of tight end. People love that for the tight end position because it's really good for him as a blocker, but it's also going to help with the catch radius and being able to stretch the field. He ran a 4.65 at the combine with a 1.58 split. Extremely impressive for tight ends. The 1.58 split, I really like. 38-inch vert, like his testing numbers were phenomenal. And he was a very productive receiver. He played 5 years of college football. The first 3 were in Western Kentucky, where he was just an absolute stud. I mean, as a freshman, he was balling. And then he had a really good, sophomore season. He redshirted in his junior year after having a knee injury, and then he had a really great bounce back game the next year at Western Kentucky. Then he ends up transferring over to South Carolina, and wasn't really a full-time player there in 2023. It looks like he was just taking over the root beer Nate Atkins role down there, but played in 12 games with 4 starts and had decent production. And then he became their full-time tight end this upcoming year. And he led the team, man, with 40 receptions, 519 yards, and 7 touchdowns in the 12 games his last year. Yes, he led the team. Yes, South Carolina was not a very pass-heavy offense. They weren't a very good offense in general. But, man, against the SEC competition, he popped. He did his thing. The dude has got ridiculous traits and upside. I really like what Joshua Simon can bring to the table. Watch out for him. I think teams are going to love him. But I'll tell you what, man, this dude can block, and he can block very, very well. He is an older prospect, obviously, being that he's played 6 years of college football. Yeah, it's actually 6 years. So a little bit of a concern, but he's not as old as you would think. I mean, he's 24, but he's not going to be 25 until like the end of the year. So he's very, very recently turned 24. And so for someone that's played in college for 6 years, you think he's going to be a little bit older than that. So really like Joshua Simon. I want him to make my top 10 list. All right. Final rankings here. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. And that's the wide receivers. And don't at me, bro, with a lot of these rankings because, this is the flavor of, I always said this is a wide receiver group where it's like, what flavor wide receiver are you looking for? Right? So I tried to put a list together of saying, I don't care about the system. I don't care about what it is that you're looking for. These guys are very well-rounded. And that's why the guys that are on the list are here. Matthew Golden, number 1 wide receiver. He's been there for a long time for me. I just think he's unbelievably dynamic. He's a buttery smooth route runner. So smooth to the point where he doesn't even look like he's very athletic or he's getting, you don't realize why, you're just kind of confused why he's getting open, but he's just open. Because he's fantastic. He's that guy. His the way that he kind of paces a lot of the routes, the way that he gets out of his breaks, the way that he doesn't slow down 1% when changing any direction, whether it's on the comeback routes or on the out routes or on the deep slants. I mean, he's ridiculously good, very smart player. Love Matthew Golden. Think he's going to be a stud. Number 2 is Emeka Ibuka. I know a lot of people think he's strictly a slot guy. I completely disagree with that. I just think he thrives in the slot, but he can play outside. He can play inside. You'll catch him lead blocking. Phenomenal team leader. Catches everything tough as nails. Translates extremely, extremely well to this day and age's NFL game where defenses are playing too high shell safety look all day. He's just going to be able to eat across the middle. I love his game. I love the person as well. Fantastic. Number 3, Jaden Higgins. I don't think anybody's sleeping on him anymore. I think he's ultimately going to be a first-round pick. I think he might slide into the back end of the first round. He's just too good to not. He's big. He's got all the traits of being a true X receiver with the ability to play inside like he's shown. And he's dynamic, man. He's not only did the testing numbers back it up, but his tape shows it. He's very quick for somebody his size, He catches everything. I love the competitiveness of him. Very durable player. Great red zone threat. Contested catch rate is amazing. After the catch, he's got a lot of ability there. Like I said, he could really stretch the field. He's just super good, man. Iowa State was loaded with two good receivers. Him and Jalen Noel are studs. And I think Jaden Higgins is just good. And he's above Tet McMillan, not just because of the whole, red flags and the volleyball player and the fact that he's doing all this, the video that leaked. Aside from that, I liked Jaden Higgins' tape more than Tet McMillan. I thought, I just think his game translates better at the NFL. I think he's a better route runner. I think he's a little bit more explosive. And yeah, he's just got an uncanny ability to get open a little bit more. Ted McMillan had way too many contested catches. His separation is a little bit of a concern for me, but he's a really good red zone target. He's someone that obviously shown that his yak ability is pretty good. Like he can separate once he's one of those guys that he's not explosive, but once he gets going, he can hit the top speed, and his top speed is really good. So that's why he's at number 4. Below him, number 5 is Luther Burden. I really wanted to have Luther Burden higher than Tet, but the only thing that's holding me back is I do think he's a little bit scheme dependent. I think he's going to be one of those players that it's like, man, depending on where it is that you put him, what team he is, he's going to be really productive or not so much. But dynamic, man, fun to watch player. Get the ball in his hands, good things are going to happen. I really enjoy watching Luther Burden. Number 6 is Jack Betch, and to be honest with you, I probably could have put him above Luther Burden because I feel like he is more well-rounded. Only reason I didn't is because Luther Burden just brings a level of explosiveness that teams are going to lose their mind out on, and I think that his ceiling is ridiculously high. Jack Betch, not necessarily as much, but I think that he's going to be very good in the NFL. He can do it all, man. He is athletic enough. He catches everything. He is tough as nails. He'll block his ass off. Very well-rounded. I look at him like similar to Emeka Egbuka, but not as good. Like I want to say a poor man's version of Emeka Egbuka, but he's just a step below. But I like everything that he brings. I think he's a great day 2 wide receiver for a lot of teams in the NFL. And I think he's got a lot of versatility. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jack Betch overall. Number 7 is Alec Ayomanor. Now, loved him from Stanford. You just got to watch him go up against Travis Hunter. It'll tell you all that you need to know. I think with him, his route tree in Stanford wasn't as robust as you'd like to see. So there might be a little bit of growing pains there, but really good player. Just liked how savvy he was overall, the competitive nature, the fact that they were getting blown out in a lot of games. The effort is still there. He's still trying to fire up his teammates. You got to love that. But just one of those guys that, again, his game translates into the NFL really well. And then wrapping it up with the numbers 8 through 10, Torrey Horton, man, this last year, if he didn't get hurt and if he repeated what he did in 2023, he's a top 10, top 15 pick probably in this draft. Super good. Him and Alec Ayomanor are, to me, there's a lot of similarities there. But he's just a really good football player, man. Big-bodied guy, great hands, dynamic. Just love what he can bring. And then 9 and 10 is Jalen Royals and Kyle Williams. And they're a little bit lower for me because, first of all, guys, you put the tape on with these dudes, it is obvious that they are like explosive and you get the ball in their hands and good things happen. And they're both very, very good route runners. I think the thing about them is, where are they going to be able to thrive in the NFL, right? I think Jalen Royals is going to be someone that can play outside and inside. I think Kyle Williams might have to be more of an inside guy. But Jalen Royals, it was a tough scout because his quarterback play was awful, terrible. Like so many times where he's open, he creates that separation. Quarterback just was unable to find him. So the big jump in competition level is going to be something that I think is going to be really key for him. And same goes with Kyle Williams, right? Somebody that I think is dynamic. But those guys, they have a lot of similarities between the two of them, in my opinion. Just both really polished, solid overall route runners. But that, their ceilings might be capped because, Kyle Williams is a little bit undersized. And, Jalen Royals isn't somebody that played in the highest level of competition, but he's a very well-built receiver. So it was tough finalizing these things, man, but let me know what you guys think. Where am I crazy? You guys can rip me apart in the draft in the chat below, but I'm going to call it a night. Y'all take it easy, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my receivers, my running backs, and my tight end rankings below. Y'all make sure to spend time with those you love the most. And until next time, don't even forget to